Lee, thanks for talking to us. It's that exciting day, of course. The fixtures are now out. Your early thoughts?
Yeah, some interesting ties in there, isn't there? Obviously, everyone's looking out for the local Derby and Port Vale games, but we look like we've got a real exciting start to the season. With obviously playing Chesterfield after they've just been promoted, but we look forward to it. You often get the question, who do you want? And I have no particular reference to who you want to play against. It's just good when they are out and you can start really planning and looking forward. What it does mean is the season's closer, which we're all looking forward to.
Yeah, that's how quickly it comes around, doesn't it? Already been one cup draw made. There's a couple of cup draws in the pipeline as well to be confirmed, and your league fixtures are out as well. What's your overall thoughts of obviously looking at how League Two will be?
Yeah, we had the so-called big hitters in the league last year. And eventually they've ended up getting promoted, and we all thought it'd sort of even out a little bit, but I think it's going to be as strong as ever. I really do. With the signings people are making, some are making some real noises in terms of who they're recruiting and what they're going after. I anticipate it being a real tight league. Back end of the season there was a group of 12-13 teams, obviously the teams who got promoted, but if down even to 13th, I think it was, if they'd have got 2 wins together they'd have been in the playoffs. I think that will go on for much longer throughout the season. I think it'll be a real competitive league. Some good teams have joined us from below and from above, so it'll be exciting but real competitive.
And of course you always have that busy time around about starting just before Christmas Eve, that you have your game, and then leading all the way through to New Year's Day. But I think it's a period of the season that you quite like. Yeah,
I really like Christmas. I think our football pyramid does it really well. It's a time of the year I really look forward to with the games. As a player, as a manager, and if you ask the players, they prefer games than training around that time. And I really enjoy it. We didn't do particularly well over the Christmas period last year, but the draw at Newport sort of kicked us on again. So it's something we should all look forward to. Like I've just said to the sponsors, people plan their lives around football, and as soon as them fixtures come out, particularly around Christmas, there'll be phone calls going on throughout the country, who's staying where, what games are we watching. So a real exciting time.
And of course, you're into League Two. You would have liked to have been into League One, but that's the goal. That's the ambition, to try and get out of the league.
Yeah, of course it is. That's likewise for everybody in the division. But our main aim is to improve as a team and as a group. And if you do that, then you hopefully have progression in your league position. But we want to progress as a team and sustain better form for longer periods. Particularly the back end of the season. Now there's a number of reasons for that, but that's the aim for us to be. We were consistent, but become even better at that. Improving areas that we improved in, set plays, for example, is as good as the club has ever had. So there's definitely room for improvement with everything. Players we bring in, we bring in players that can then improve us. Players who have only been at the club for a year now have really settled in, and we're hoping then we can see the best of them, even more than what we saw last year.
You've mentioned it, that they've already signalled the intentions, quite a lot of the clubs have, in signing quite a lot of big name players that are coming into League Two, and you mentioned it briefly there that you're hopefully going to add some players before you head off for a pre-season training camp in Portugal, but a couple have already arrived, and you're well pleased with that? Yeah,
really pleased. Jamie's a really good player. Not had much first team minutes, but he's been in their squad throughout the season. Way above the level, under 21 level. He's a player that they, managers and CEOs will say it to you that he's going to play in our first team, but they rewarded him with a 3.5-year contract not so long ago, and they firmly believe he's going to play in their first team. They were humming and ahhing to keep him because they thought he'd get minutes this year in their first team, but they think it's a good fit. And with loan players, you don't normally do them that early in terms of them positions, but it's an opportunity that we couldn't really turn down because he's a really good player, and Bristol, who were excellent with us, think it was a good fit. We had a meeting 20 minutes later, they were on the phone saying, yeah, we think it's something we'd like to do. The next day it happened. So really pleased to get him in. Kane, I think is a really good signing for us. Wealth of experience is what we needed. We need that little bit more experience He's not a direct replacement for Nev, because they're two different players, but he works ever so hard. He really does. If you watch him play, he will work hard, and the most important thing is he scores goals. He'll get in between the goal posts. He'll score goals. And Stephen, his manager, Alex, give him a rave review. He was close to re-signing for them, but the opportunity to come closer to home, he's got a young family, I think really helped us, but that's not the reason why we've got him. You know, we've outlined what we expect of him. With older players, they come in and, you know, someone mentioned in the meeting we had with him, you look after the younger players. I think they do that naturally. Older, experienced players, think, you know, particularly when you become a parent, that happens naturally. He's here to play, to get into the team and score goals for us.
So it's all systems go now from early August to the the early end of May in the next year.
Yeah, it'll come quick now. Like I say, the fixtures come out, it means you're really getting close, but it'll come really quickly. And if I'm honest, I can't wait. We'll hopefully have a fully fit squad going into the season. Jack Powell will be in and around it at the start of the season, which is fantastic for us. We like having a new player and how important he was for us up to that point. So we're really looking forward to it, and I'm, you know, after speaking to a couple of players over the last couple of days, they're really chomping at the bit. They saw the progression we made last year, and we want to do better.